Welcome to Retirement Choices Podcast, where we dive into the topics that matter most. I'm your host, JP Hamlet, and each week we'll explore fascinating subjects, interview experts, and uncover stories that will leave you both informed and inspired. From finance to technology, to arts and culture, from personal growth to global issues, our podcast is your go-to destination for thought-provoking discussions and captivating narratives. Whether you're looking to expand your knowledge, gain new perspectives, or simply enjoy a good story, join us on this journey as we explore the wonders of our world and beyond. So sit back, relax, and let us embark on this adventure together. This is a Retirement Choices podcast, and I'm thrilled that you could join us. All right, today we have one of my good friends, and he's also a client, and I thought he'd be an excellent person to come on the show and just talk about things that are happening in his life, specifically his involvement with sports and his retirement. You're actually retiring officially this week. How does that feel?
It feels very good. Today is the day. I turned my keys in, I turned my computer in, I walked around and said goodbye to everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody. So I was at Pasadena City College for 31 years.
That's amazing.
I didn't know it was that long. I was part-time for a couple of years, and then I was 31 years as a full-time instructor there. So it was a rich experience. I had a great time. Worked with obviously lots of people over 31 years.
Yes.
And when it came up on me this spring to pull the trigger and walk away, people were like, "You're not leaving, are you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I put my time in. I earned this."
After 31 years, you deserve it. And so we'll talk about your retirement. You're also a world-class fencer. I think you have some medals that you earned through competition, not just in the U.S., but also outside the U.S. We'll talk about that. Ladies and gentlemen, he's also a cyclist. I don't know if you're a world-class cyclist or just a badass cycler, but
I'm a happy one.
You're a happy cycler or cyclist. And we go back about maybe 30, 35 years. I think we actually came into contact with each other back during the FAME, First AME Methodist Episcopal Church. We used to attend Sundays back in the day. Cliff Mosley was there. Well, actually, his wife, Faye Mosley, was there.
Oh, really?
Well, she was Faye Clerk before she was Faye Mosley. So
Chip Murray. Remember
Chip Murray, he just passed away. God bless Chip Murray, Reverend Murray.
Yeah, he was a power in the city.
Yeah, he really was. He really was. He helped me a lot, and he inspired me to go to church on Sunday. And obviously, we had some great musicians and gospel.
And a great contact place. A lot of good contacts.
Good place to contact others that were.
And some beautiful ladies down there.
Beautiful ladies, okay.
Don't forget that.
Speaking of beautiful ladies, no, we'll get into that too, because you're also a world traveler. And by the way, we've traveled quite a few places together.
Exactly, international.
International, we've gone to Spain, Paris. Recently at Italy. What cities did we go to in Italy?
We went to Siena. We went to a place called Cinque Terre.
Cinque Terre.
On the coast there. We went to Florence.
Florence.
Right? And then we went to the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Pisa, that's right. Not pizza, but Pisa.
Yeah, we were there.
Which city did you like the most, or which one would you go back to?
I like the city. Was it Monte Catani? That's where we stayed.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Kind of out of the way. The one I did want to go to was San Gimignano. That was the one with all the towers. That was a very nice place. But Siena's a nice place. I don't think we got the. And wait a minute, Lucca.
Lucca, that's right.
Lucca.
Wow.
That's the one that I like too. I really like Lucca. It's a walled city. We could walk around the wall. A really rich. That's where the Italians go.
And this was your first. No, I'm sorry. My first trip to Italy, and it was your second or third trip.
About my third. I've been there a few times, but it was good hanging out with you and your wife and my lady, and it was a good time. It was short and sweet, but we did a whole lot in those.
We sure did.
2 days.
Now, also, I'm going to jump right into Dubai. So, Daryl Taylor, like I mentioned, is a world-class fencer. He's going to be competing. I think, did you qualify for Dubai yet? Or maybe I shouldn't say.
I'm close to qualifying.
Okay.
The qualifying match will be happening in July, early July in Columbus, Ohio. That's the National Championships of Fencing. And I'll be there competing in my age group. And if I do well, and I'm pretty confident I'll do well, I will then make the world team.
Okay.
And the world championships are going to be in Dubai in October this year.
And so what is my commitment to you if you make that?
You're going to come on over and support
I'm
your brother.
going to join
Come
you in
support your
Dubai.
brother.
Me and my wife are going to join you in Dubai to see you do your thing
There
and
you
to
go. And
hopefully help you to bring home a gold.
That's okay, brother. Come on with it.
A
Come
gold
on,
medal.
come on with it. I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, so let's go back. I won't say to the beginning because that was so long ago when you were first born. I don't know if was that in the
Whoa, whoa,
20th
that's a lot.
century.
That was before. That was before they had clocks. in the
So where are you from, Daryl? Where are you originally from?
I grew up in Trenton, New Jersey, in the East Coast. I grew up there for many years, and then I went to Trenton High School. I went to school in Philadelphia, graduate school there also. I got an MBA from the Wharton School of Business. And after that, I did some international travel. I was in Brazil for a few years, working with Johnson & Johnson in international marketing. I came back to the West Coast because after being in Brazil, I didn't want to go back to the East Coast in cold weather. So I said, let me come west in California, and I came out and worked for a couple of years in marketing. And after a couple of years of bouncing around in the professional area with a master's degree in business international marketing from a prestigious school, I started looking for jobs, and I said, well, let me substitute teach as I make my search for other jobs. And I started enjoying teaching. And I worked at LA Unified for a couple of years, and I transferred over to Pasadena City College. And I started teaching their business division and had a rich experience there. And then later on in my career at PCC, I had the opportunity to go into their kinesiology or PE division. And there I started connecting with my fencing again. That's what brought me back to that area of fencing. I started teaching spin classes because I like to cycle. Later on, I started teaching yoga classes. And most recently, just before my retirement, I introduced pickleball as a curriculum, as a study curriculum there at the school. So that was one little legacy I left at the school there, the pickleball program. And it's popular, it's growing.
Well, by the way, so Daryl wanted to learn more about pickleball, and he wanted to be a better pickleball player so he can be a better pickleball coach. So I whipped up on him many times. We had a tennis court in our backyard in Hastings Ranch, and I'm still undefeated, by the way. So
Yeah,
do you
right,
tell your
right.
students that you used to get whipped up by
I don't
your
tell
good
them
buddy?
that, but, you know, sometimes you got to crawl before you can walk. You know what I mean? But,
So listen, you are retiring from a job in which you get paid a teacher's salary, or maybe not a dean's salary, but a teacher's salary, which they pay very well. This is Pasadena City
it's
College.
Comfortable. It's quite comfortable.
So you're retiring from doing what? Teaching kids pickleball?
Pickleball,
Oh my goodness.
fencing, yoga, spin.
So you're staying in shape and getting
And
paid
they
for
pay
it.
me for doing it. Yeah, a couple of my friends said that's the job I want when I retire.
That's
When you
right.
Retire from that job. That's what I want to do when I retire. So.
Well, so it must have been challenging, and I know you've been thinking about it for years, because somebody told you, or I may have told you, that if you retire, you'll make as much money in retirement as you would if you continue to work.
Exactly.
But
right.
you were saying, hey, I'm still in because I'm working out and
Doing
I'm
what I like-
making
doing
good
what I
money.
like. You know, but what I did start reducing my workload, and I came up with my own little perspective on life and money. And it's I can hustle dollars, I can make some money, but I cannot make time.
That's right.
So my time became more and more valuable the older I got, and as I walked my career. And I said, well, so that's why I reduced my workload so I could do more things with my time. And now the whole world's opening up. Some people have concerns about retirement. I'm like, whoa, I can do whatever. I can do a whole lot now.
So you actually have more money than you have time. Is that fair to say?
I don't know about that. I'm hoping that's going to work.
Well,
out.
I have more money
Oh,
than
that's good.
time,
Oh, that's
thank
good. That's
God,
good.
fortunately. But it didn't come overnight.
No.
It's been a grind. And
I remember the grind you went through, brother. I
Yeah.
know when you had small places and you were hustling and you with your son and the things you went through. So I've seen the progress and the upgrade that you've done. And with your beautiful wife, I think that was another key move that we're not getting into that
very
right now.
strategic move.
No,
Yes, I
very
have a
wise,
wonderful, intelligent.
bright, beautiful, intelligent
Yes,
wife.
yes.
And, who,
I'm going to live longer because of her.
no question, and better.
Live better. That's right. So at PCC, I know you had a period where you were interim dean.
Correct.
So I want to talk about that for a minute, because those of you that have retirement programs or if you have CalSTRS as your retirement system, then you understand that your pension is based on your highest salary.
Exactly.
It depends on how many years you work in that
Sure.
position, but certainly by enhancing or increasing your salary or compensation, it's going to bode well
Long-term effects.
in terms of
long-term
of
effects.
your
No question. For your retirement.
retirement income. So, so Daryl Taylor was the interim dean for Pasadena City College
No, for the business division.
for the business division.
Within-
Okay.
Within Pasadena City College.
Okay.
yes.
So that might have boosted your
No
retirement
might, no
pension by 10, 20, 30%?
It increased it, okay? It
Okay.
increased it.
All right. So, for those of you again that may be in the CalPERS system, maybe you're a teacher at a college or you're a
Now,
high school or
You're talking CalPERS and CalSTRS.
Yep.
Right? No, see, mine was CalSTRS.
exactly. So I'm talking about CalSTRS specifically
Mm-hmm.
because I understand CalSTRS and the pay factors that you use to calculate your retirement income. So when I tell you, or when I tell other clients that you can make as much money in retirement as you could while you were working, they're like, well, how do I figure that out?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's some pay factors, and I think you got the maximum pay factor at 2.4.
Correct.
So 2.4, that is multiplied by your years of service.
Correct.
So how many years of service do you have?
31.
So is that with PCC, or is that PCC and LAUSD?
I was contributing to, in both of those areas.
So you have 31 years of service credits,
Mm-hmm.
and we multiplied that by 2.4, and you ended up with 70 or 80%.
Yes.
But because you were a dean for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
then your current salary is not the salary they use to
Correct.
calculate your pension.
Correct.
It is what they use to calculate
highest.
your
Mhm.
highest salary.
Now, as a rule, people are usually getting their highest at their latest in their career. As they progress in their career, that's when they usually are getting their highest. That's not my case because I made my higher salary earlier on.
That's right.
And also toward the end of the last couple of semesters, I reduced my workload.
Yep.
So I really, as I said, I wasn't chasing the dollars then. I was making sure I wanted to get the time. So
Yes.
some people say, oh, well, how much you make in the last couple of semesters? That's not
That
what's
doesn't
gonna-
matter.
It's
Yeah.
not basing, it's not, I'm not basing my retirement on that.
Because the money you're making now, or before you retired, or 2022, 2023, 2024, may have been 50 or 60% of what you were
The
making
max of my
during
max.
your
Yeah,
peak
in-
earning years.
Exactly right.
So,
exactly right.
some of our listeners, or some of my clients specifically, if you want to enhance your retirement benefit or your pension amount, you may want to take on an administrative position or
Sure.
a position that pays more income.
Right,
Because they'll
right,
use
right.
that to calculate.
Well, also, if you can get some part-time, if you work summers and overload, what they call overload jobs, then also that would be another, what I could say, pool that you can draw from.
Yes, is that your DBS you're talking
Yes,
about?
exactly.
So it's called a defined benefit supplement, and some individuals don't even know they have it, but it's another pot of money that could be $70,000, $80,000, $100,000, $120,000, and they call it, I think, Z time, which is, you know, time that is not specifically.
Under your original contract, it could be overloads, it could be summer, it could be different kind of, maybe if you work on particular projects, they can do that for you. So those
Okay.
are different ways you can make, and drop into that pool.
Okay,
Exactly.
so I know you have a 403, you have a couple of 403Bs, you have your pension, you also have Social Security.
I have a bit of Social Security, yes, and some annuities
Okay, so you started taking your Social Security at what
at
age?
65,
How old are you now?
71.
71. So I know you're
71.
looking
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
71. 71. I'm catching up. I'm a little behind, but I'm okay with that.
Right.
Do you have any IRAs, traditional IRAs or Roth
Yes,
IRAs?
I do. Unfortunately, no Roth, but I do have traditional IRAs, yes.
Okay, so you believe in saving for retirement, obviously, and where'd you get that from? What encouraged you, or who encouraged you to save money for 20 years or 30 years down the road?
Well, I went to the Wharton School of Business.
Oh,
so
there you go.
There's business right there. I'm a single guy, and one of the things I always wanted to make sure was that I would be comfortable.
Yes.
And also, I have to say, my mother, I was raised by a single woman, and she hustled. And I think, and I have to say, I have to attribute some of my hustle to her, because she bought real estate back in Jersey, in Trenton, and she was a black woman in the 70s and early 80s buying property, which was not a common thing.
That's right.
And she had to deal with some stuff back then. She had to
Yep.
deal with stuff, and she managed it. And she left that legacy to me. I had some of those properties when she passed. So I had to make sure I didn't mess up what my mama gave to me.
That's right.
So I had to make sure I properly invested that in a good way. And although the real estate in Jersey ain't like the real estate in California, so it wasn't like it was just blowing up, as far as appreciation. But I managed it well. I had one of my road buddies helped me manage that back there, because he had a hands-on there in New Jersey. And a couple of years ago, the market did pop a little bit better in New Jersey, and I cashed out. And I was able to put those resources into other investments.
Man, you've done a tremendous job. And I think I know we've talked about it in terms of, what do you do with the money that you take out of your accounts when you have to, based on RMDs, required minimum distributions at age 72 and a half,
Right.
you got to pull this money out. Now listen, guys, here's a man who asked me, what should I do with that money that I have to take out? It's like most people are looking for more money and spending it on mortgage or rent or traveling or other expenses, but you've done so well that you don't need to take your distributions at 72 and a half, but the IRS has been waiting for
Right.
20 or 30 years to get their hands on some of your retirement
Right.
income that you deferred, that now they're saying, hey, you're 72 and a half,
Let's pay you got to pay the piper.
pay the piper. And so required minimum distribution, you'll find it to be like 4% or 4.5%, something like that. So that's a good problem to have, right?
Exactly.
It's a good headache, or it's a first world problem. It sounds like.
There could be a lot more problems to have. That's not. I can't complain about that one.
Yes.
That's a good headache. A good headache.
Well, congratulations on your retirement. It's no longer pending. You're officially retired
I'm out
of
here.
today. Is it
Yes.
today?
Yesterday was my official retirement, but I was turning stuff in. I turned my keys in. I turned my computer in. I can't get into the office no more. I got to knock on doors. A guy said, "Hey man, can you get me in the bathroom?" I'm like, "Nope." I ain't got to."
So how do you feel about that? And is there any anxiety in terms of what you'll do next, or
I'm
the fact that you're gonna stop doing something you've been doing for 31 years?
I'm processing that right now. I've been processing that. I've been talking to you, and you've been helping me out with some of my financial issues of retirement, and so that was one component to get together. Another, health care. You have to start making sure I have those components in order. So those are some hard, concrete things that you want to make sure you have in good order. The other stuff is in your head. What am I going to do with myself? Like you said, most of my finances, I've been working and enjoying it, but I've been trying to put into the pot. Now to change that concept of and start pulling out the pot.
Yep.
That's a different feel to go on there. You know what I mean? So it's like all the time I'm like, I got to save some money now. No, just start burning.
Now it's time to spend some money.
Yeah, it's like, whoa.
Because you can't take it with you, and I always tell you that.
I know.
So because you don't have any children, right? Is that correct?
Correct.
So we actually helped you to create your living trust.
Correct.
And so some people think that they don't need a living trust because they don't have kids or they don't have real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So you have real estate, you have annuities, you have 403Bs, you have deferred comp, you have a lot of other investments.
Also in the market.
So what happens to those investments, or what is your plan if something happens to you? What do you want your legacy to be, and what do you want to have happen to your assets?
Well, I don't have all of them allocated. I have a goddaughter who I've allocated as one of my beneficiaries. And so I'm looking to some other areas of that. The living trust, one of the main things they're constantly asking, give me some beneficiaries. And I haven't really pulled the trigger on exactly where I want to go. Another aspect with even the consultant that you turned me on to as far as living trust was maybe make a legacy, maybe make something, a scholarship or some type of endowment for Pasadena City College, maybe for youth fencing or minority fencing students. So those could be some other areas that I could delve into at this point, maybe some time to think about it in my retirement years.
Yeah, you got plenty of time to think about it. So that's awesome. That's amazing. You have created quite a legacy, or in terms of being a mentor or an example. I mean, that's so important because you've been dealing with students who are now, you know, in their 30s, 40s, 50s,
Exactly.
who have probably gone on to do wonderful things. And a lot of them probably give you credit, or at least they acknowledge the fact that you put something in them, or you planted a seed in them, and now they've gone on to take care of their families, or they have kids that are now in high school or college.
Hey, there are couples that met in some of my classes.
That's
You know what I'm
amazing,
saying?
yeah.
I saw the beginning of some romances, and all of a sudden they're saying, "Hey, coach, look at our child." I'm like, "Whoa!"
Isn't that
you know?
something?
That's a nice feeling.
That's a
very
great
nice
feeling. So congratulations on your retirement, and thank you for what you do and what you've done for a lot of the students that have come through your classrooms. And I think,
It was also, I did share with some of my students this semester that I was retiring.
okay,
And that was a little different feel, because usually, you know, I'm the teacher, they're the students, but they're like, "Oh, you're leaving, coach? Oh, I was gonna take your class next semester." I'm like, "No, not next semester," you know. So they were able to also, at the end of the semester, kids were giving me cards saying, "Good luck to you,
Nice.
coach, hope to see you again."
that feels good.
It was nice. And students don't acknowledge that as a rule. How you doing, coach? And they're gone. you
They're
know.
gone.
But to
2
know
years
that
or, yeah.
to know that you're going to be making a transition like that, it was really nice. And I think they enjoy showing you a little appreciation too.
Yes, you are to be recognized and appreciated. So we're actually having a client appreciation party, dinner, celebration, and we want to acknowledge you as one of our clients who is retiring.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So we'll party, we'll have a
Rich,
nice
you
dinner.
said-
It'll be at the City Club of Los Angeles.
All right.
First
We
class.
could do. I know how you roll. I know
Yes,
how you roll,
sir.
brother.
Yes, sir.
I know how you
So
roll.
I want to also just jump back into sports, because people, you don't brag about it. This guy is so low key, but I've become his spokesperson because when I talk to people, I say, "Do you know he rode his bike from Newport Beach to Boston, Massachusetts?"
Right.
And somebody said, motorcycle, or was it a motorcycle, or was it?
No, what do you mean a motorcycle? No, hell no. That was on a bicycle, man.
There was no electric motor or no gas motor?
People power, brother.
So you rode your bike from Newport Beach to Boston. How long did it take you?
It took a month. It wasn't me. There was a group of us, about 30.
Well, you
of us.
did it. Nobody
Well,
carried you or
no,
pushed
no,
you
No, yeah, but
or pulled you.
no. So, but we did, about 30 guys did it, and we started in was it Newport Beach, around the Newport Beach area, and then we flowed over to, it was Amesbury, Massachusetts, where we arrived, which is
Okay.
just outside of
Boston,
Boston.
yeah.
And so it was 30 days, and we had like 2 days of rest, and on average, we were cycling. When I signed up for it, I thought it was 100 miles a day. And like after about 3 or 4 days, we're doing 110, 150, 120. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought this was 100. They said, oh no, this is at least, that was your short day 100.
Yeah.
So
We're
they-
trying to get somewhere in 30 days.
Yeah, right. We can't worry about 100 miles. So we were doing on average more than 100 a day. I mean, we had a couple of days where we were doing 80, 90 miles. We were laughing like, this is an easy day today.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And so, but we had some grinding days of maybe 120, 130. And then you go to you hit the hotel that evening. You get some food, you get some pizza, you load up with some carbs, and you're back on the next day. Every day.
That's amazing to even think about. And I think we talked about it before, where if you can do that mentally, if you can prepare yourself to ride a bike 100 miles a day or more, or get to Boston from Southern California, you can do just about anything.
And you know what we all because that's a bonding experience too. You
Yeah.
do that, you do some of that with some folks. But what we all found, I think, at least for me, and I think others too, is that there's a lot more on us that we don't tap into.
Yeah.
We often, I think most folks are trying to look for comfort. They're not looking to really challenge themselves
That's right.
too much. So, I mean, but we're capable of our bodies and our spirits and our mind. We can do some spectacular, and many people do it. We have the Olympics coming right now. Look at what those athletes do, you know what I
Right.
mean? But that kind of struck me, and I think some of my fellow riders, that we can do some spectacular things, but we don't often do that. We kind of look for the easy way out. But you can't get on the easy way out of doing 110 a day. There ain't no easy way around that. You gotta put out. You gotta put out.
And it's so impressive because you did that not at 40 or 30 years old, or 40 or 50. You did that in your 60s.
Yes, exactly.
And now you're just as fit. You still cycle. You still swim sometime, not as much as
Not
you'd
as
like
much,
to.
not as much, right,
but
right.
you're fencing a couple of times a week. You're teaching fencing.
Right, right.
you're teaching spinning, or you're
And-
teaching
and you know-
pickleball at 70?
And you know what else is, which helps also, is yoga.
Okay, yeah.
You know, yoga is something that I want to continue. That's something I'm looking at, like long-term activity. That's something I think I've shared with you sometimes,
Yeah.
some of your issues, and, you know, kind of do some stretch. Well, you do some yourself, don't you?
I
Some yoga
do
stuff?
every morning. I have to get on the floor and stretch if I'm going to have a good day, because if I don't, I'm in trouble.
pay the price.
And as a golfer, I'm golfing more frequently now, and I'm swimming like 5 days a week. I'm trying to keep up with you, and then you're trying to keep up with my dad, who was our guest last week, who is 92 years old.
No, that brother got the secret. He got the key to life. I saw as a kick tie. I saw him at the Hollywood Bowl this weekend.
Yes.
He dropped some more knowledge on me. So I sit up to him like a grasshopper, because wise one, tell me what to do.
Yeah.
He's a treat to talk to. Treat. And bright and sharp and quick. He catches jokes. He throws jokes at you. I'm like, this old boy, he's legit.
Yeah.
He's legit.
Well, if you saw the last podcast, you will know what Daryl's talking about, because my dad was my guest, and we went, you know, we talked about everything from traveling
Sports,
to
music.
health to work. He still works at age 92. He's got you beat in that, because you'll never catch him.
I ain't trying to.
You ain't trying to catch him. Well, most people don't want to catch him, or nobody wants to work for 50 and 60 years unless you love what you're doing.
Exactly.
He loves what he does, and it's good for him, and it's a part of his routine. And like you, or unlike you, he goes to the gym like every morning. You tend to work out at school, and you have your students, you know, follow a regiment that keeps you in shape and keeps them in shape.
And cycling, though, now I'll be cycling more, you know, be getting up in the hills and the mountains. We've done some rides together.
Yeah.
You know, I like to get out. That's kind of good therapy too, getting out in the air and feeling good with it. So it's a good time to do that. I feel
So it's
good.
amazing to have, or to ride with you. See, when I ride with Daryl, I have to be on my best. I have to get rest that night. I have to be strong and eat the right food the day before, because he will leave you behind. He does maybe about 40 miles, 35 miles per hour,
Oh, no.
30, 28.
20, 25, 20, 25.
Okay,
that's
I'm
good.
trying to,
I appreciate it. But
make you sound more impressive.
Hey, now I'm doing 30, 35 downhill. I can get down.
Yeah. So I'm doing maybe 21, 22 miles per hour. So
And that's no joke. That's legit.
it's a pleasure to cycle with you. It's a pleasure to be your friend for all these years. I appreciate you being my client. You know, you've been a loyal client, a loyal friend, a travel companion. And so we have a lot of good stories to share.
And I'll share something too, that as you progressed and you succeeded and gained your success, and the circle of folks that you ran around with and you started interacting with, I backed up a little bit, Jerron. I'm like, oh, boy's about to stretch out, you know, and I don't know if he needs me from way back in the day. And I think, I remember one time you called me, you said, hey man, how come you don't reach out to me more? And I was guilty, because I thought you were trying to stretch out and go another way. And you said, no, man, you my dog. You stick with me, you know.
That's right.
We're hanging out. So
That's
I was
right.
like,
We're
oh,
going places.
Yeah.
And on that note, man, it's been a pleasure. This has been, you know, my honor to sit here and talk to one of my good friends about retirement and cycling and, you know, traveling and work. So,
And life,
you know,
brother, life.
life.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your saying, man?
Oh,
Give me your saying.
You know,
'cause-
I wouldn't want to leave by saying we have to live this life, no matter what it is. Live your life to its fullest, because it's fleeting. And that's one thing I'm trying to do, and I try to share with my friends. Live this life, and you know, don't waste it. It's a valuable asset. It's fleeting, and make the best of it, the best you can.
And so, lastly, I have to throw this in here. You don't eat meat, and you haven't eaten meat for years. What's your diet?
I eat seafood, primarily soup. I love soup, so I like vegetables and salads and fruits. Similar to your dad. I heard what he did.
That's right.
I heard what he did, yeah, so.
And look at you at 71 looking like a 30-year-old.
I'll give me 40. Give me 40. I'll take
Hey,
40.
it's been a pleasure again, and an honor to have you on. Much success. Longevity is in your genes. I think you'll be around for a long time, and we'll have a lot more fun together and more music.
And I'll be dealing with your business, because I want you making sure my money's rolling. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm saying?
appreciate you giving me the trust that you've given me, and I won't let you down.
To you and Michelle. I give the trust to you and Michelle.
That's right. We got you covered, man. On that note, guys, thank you so much, and we'll take it to the next segment, or we're going to take a break now. But stick around. and join us and come back anytime.
I'll do that, my brother, because I got time.
You got time. Thank you, man. Yes, sir. Yes,
And you
sir.
know what? This is also a great way to start my retirement. I'm coming to a podcast with my buddy. This is a great way to start. So I think it's off to a very
Let's
positive
go.
start.
Let's go.
That's the plan.
All right. Good deal.
Thank you.
It's an honor.